Hi, everybody. I'm Julie Hirt. I am the author of Trust the Animals. And as you know, because you're here. So anyways, but I thought what I would do today is have a special guest join me. As you know, the animal messages for the month of January is faith. And how are the animals helping us find our faith? And again, as I've written about, it's not about like religion or anything like that. It's more about faith in ourselves, faith in something that, something larger is happening, and can we trust it? There's a trust element in that. Can we believe in ourselves? Can we believe in our voice? How can we move ahead from a place of even grounding in faith? So there's a whole lot of ways that the animals are helping us do that this month. I will also say that faith ends up being, like, they've already told me, like, it's the whole theme for the year. So we're going to see what the different homework exercises and the different variations of the theme are as we go through every single month. So anyways, but I thought, in talking with Nina, who has been really helpful for me and Lucas in a lot of different ways, most recently and continuing to be the grief of my dad passing, but also with some things just with Lucas as well, and different things that he does. And she's amazing. So I asked her if she wouldn't mind coming on to and just doing this little video with me, because she does something that's really kind of cool, and she works with Bach Flower Essences. And she and I were talking the other day, and I thought, oh, you know what? There was a time, and there still is, I will say this, Lucas does not like gunshots. I don't know who does, but she doesn't like gunshots. And just FYI, Nina, you're muted. So just so you know.
As a Bailey.
Got it. Okay. Oh, your pupper's okay.
Yes.
So anyways, but he doesn't like gunshots. He doesn't like thunder, and he doesn't like, fireworks. And so because he's from Alaska, we adopted him in Alaska. In Alaska, yes, there was sometimes gunshots, but not like that. But there weren't fireworks, because when you would do fireworks, normally the sun is up all the time, so you can't see them. So there wouldn't be fireworks really. And then there was, anyway, they have them, but it's different. And what else was it? And we don't have thunderstorms in Anchorage. But for the most part, they can have thunderstorms in the interior, but not necessarily in Anchorage, which is on the ocean. So he came here to West Michigan, and he's like, what the heck is all of this stuff? And as we've been here 4 years. Oh, wow, 4 years now. And so the terror and the anxiety was growing to the point where I think, like, well over a year ago, I reached out to Nina. I was working with a homeopathic vet, and I still love her, and there's still some benefit there. I'm nothing against homeopathy. It just wasn't making the inroads, and I could see his panic getting worse. And so I reached out to Nina. I also just know that he was also helping just kind of relieve some. And for those of you who are like, this is a little woo-woo, wait, just hang on, because it gets a little more. There is past life stuff. So our animals have been with us in our past lives as well. And so there's some past life things that he and I have been through that have also kind of, there's some residual, there's some, they talk about generational trauma. There's also past life trauma that comes through as well, which actually can manifest as generational. That's a whole other topic. I don't mean to get off tangent. Anyway, so I was having a hard time not having faith in being able to calm him down. I didn't feel like I was equipped to be able to calm him down and to bring that anxiety to a level where he could function. So I reached out to Nina. And she did a reading on him, knowing that she was going to try and do, there's energy medicine that she does. She does a lot of different things, but she can certainly do Reiki. She does a lot of things. But she has Bach Flower Essences, which she said, okay, let's try these. She works with the animals. She said, like, try these. And there's a component in there too about using them for oneself as well. So there's that. But we've started to use them with Lucas for this past year with wonderful results. He still, of course, doesn't like any of those noises, but he doesn't have he's not doing this. He's not pacing. He could at least come closer, and then he and I can just be in the moment. And we hate them. We hate all the noises, both of us, but we can at least find a place where we can try and calm each other down. And I attribute all of that to Nina. So I wanted her to come on and just talk a little bit about Bach flower essences, so that everybody knows what they are. And two, some that can help with that faith, that self-confidence, that believing in in oneself and believe in that grounding thing. So she's going to give us a couple examples. So Nina, welcome. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Sorry, I talked a lot there.
No, thank you so much. I'm so grateful to be on here with you and just excited to how possibly we can assist everyone here on your channel and the animals, humans, both to move forward. So yes, I'm Nina Roberti. I am an animal communicator, intuitive. I'm a Reiki master. I do energy work with a pendulum. So I dowse on the spiritual, mental, physical plane. So there's, yeah, everything just kind of all blends into one once we do that. But I'm grateful to be here to talk about the Bach Flower Essences, which I've been using for quite a few years. And it is amazing the transformation that you will see in a human and your animal. I mean, it's like you're saying, Julie, how it helped with Lucas and the thunderstorms. And, you know, I know that I've helped a lot with my neighbors of thunderstorms with their animals, of just the various different remedies. So do you want me just to talk a little bit about who he is, what they are?
Tell us a little bit of the history and like what they are and how they work. Yeah.
So they're very fascinating. They're all natural. So basically it's by Edward Bach, who was an English physician. He was born in late 1880s, so it's been around really for a long time, which is amazing as to when all of a sudden like it just comes into your field as to how to use them. So in the 1930s, which he was still very young, the last like 6 years of his life, he was like, I want to find something that's a more natural, simple healing modality. So basically it's the essence of the flower, which is amazing because basically that raises your vibration. And then it takes you to the soul, your soul level, because once we are out of balance, so like as we are all spiritual beings, right? We're in this physical vessel of ourselves, but when we are out of balance, like basically we're not connected to our soul, which is basically, as you're saying, we don't have faith in a higher plan or the divine plan as to what is supposed to go on, then we have conflict within ourselves. And that usually starts with emotions. And when we have emotions, like, you know, you're not confident in yourself, you don't have faith, you know, then you start to, your body is imbalanced, and then you possibly can start to have dis-ease in the body, right? So we basically, the flower essences, they're all natural. It goes down to the cellular level, and it's to raise your vibration so that you are more connected to your soul and that you can move forward in alignment as all one, like physical, emotionally, spiritually, mentally. And so these flower essences are, I mean, it's just amazing to see the difference, you know, and yeah. So
yeah, I was going to say, are they different from essential oils? Because I've never actually asked you that question.
Yes, totally different than essential oils. Essential oils are basically, so the Bach flower essences are from the bloom of a flower. And technically, like he used to use the sun method, or this may be too much detail, or the boiling method. You take the bloom of the flower like at 9 a.m. and then you put it in a glass of spring water and let the sun basically radiate on it from 12 to 3. And then you have the essence of the actual flower. And then you use that as like a mother tincture. And then you have all little tinctures from that because it has the essence of the flower. So it raises your vibration. Essential oils are totally different. Basically, you're using an oil. It has different properties, and it's for different things. This Bach flower essences is to assist you on the emotional level. So it takes you down to your soul, to like, what is it that you're experiencing? What are you feeling? You know, like basically, as we're here today to talk about faith, like, you know, not like you've lost faith in maybe the universe or the divine plan or whatever it is that you're not connected with your soul. These take you down to your emotion that, you know, if you're having mental anguish, or if you are, you know, like as we were saying earlier, like, oh my goodness, you have a temporary setback, like your father passing away, or like me going through Hurricane Helene here, or, you know, or it's like, you're at your wit's end, or whatever it is that you're not really fully, you don't know how to move forward, and you can't get out of your own way really, because emotionally you're kind of, sometimes you may be trapped in your head and you're playing the same thing over and over again. Well, there's Bach flower essences for all of those symptoms I just described. You know, and so it just realigns your soul with your body so that you're able to open up your channel so that you are able to see outside of where you are right now.
Yeah, which is really cool, I think, and really aligns with animal messages and how our animals work with us, because the stories that we tell, like you were just saying, like the Bach Flower Essence can help us create awareness around it, can help us break the cycle of these stories that we tell that hold us back. And if you're not necessarily, if someone's watching this, they're not necessarily into woo woo, Martha Beck's got a new book on this. Mel Robbins has new books. Like there's other people, but there are so many different modalities, and you don't have to do just one. So I feel like the animals and Bach Flower Essence can be an avenue for somebody, because the animals will highlight that story, that behavior that you keep deploying that isn't working for you. So, which is part of what soul level animal communication is anyway. So it's just, so they can work absolutely together. So
yeah, and the Bach Flower Essences are not really woo woo. It's like really homeopathic. So
right.
it's really, I mean, and you're just going down. I mean, it's all natural. You can't like OD or anything. Your body takes what it needs, and then it releases whatever it doesn't need. So, and it's only, you only take like 1 or 2 drops, and the shift, I mean, it is amazing to me. Like when you're doing it with you, or when you're doing it with one animal, when you watch the shift, oh my God, it is phenomenal. And it is just amazing how it brings, like, it just restores your body back to the peace and harmony that you are supposed to be in, and it's phenomenal. I mean, it's amazing to me.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. What were you saying?
Well, I'm always saying to friends, or just, I'm like, oh, well, maybe you should have a drop of this, have a drop of that. Because all it takes is 1 drop if you're using it from the tincture bottle, or you can make a whole concoction with that. And then after I probably have like about 15 that I use at one time, because as experiencing going through the hurricane and losing a lot of stuff, and just kind of it takes you off I mean, it just, it's amazing what it does. As the same thing, like you're going through trauma, whether it's you're losing your father, or going through a hurricane, whatever the case is, it's still trauma, whatever it is, right? And so it is amazing how it just, oh my goodness, it just calms you down so that you are able to be in peace or in harmony with your soul, like all mental, physical, and spiritually.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're kind of like your spirit may be out here, or your mind is going this way, or your stomach's in knots, or however it is that it looks for, how you handle that. It just brings it all back into harmony, and so that you're reconnected to your soul, so that you do have faith that there is a higher plan, and that there is the divine, universe is working for you, and with you, as well as their animals, right?
Right. Everything is here. I think, isn't there a book, either Matt Kahn or what's her name, Gabby Bernstein? I think everything, the universe has your back, but everything is here for you, or something. They all have, different titles. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
When everybody hears Nina refer to Hurricane Helene, where are you?
Asheville, North Carolina.
Yeah. So she was in the center of it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, like Asheville, which is in the mountains, we've never had a hurricane. I mean, I was born and raised here and left and come back, but never had a hurricane. The flooding, like my sister and I have some warehouses that my dad had, and they flooded like 15 feet high. And I mean, you cannot even imagine the devastation. And if anyone has gone through a hurricane, they would know. But the flooding, I mean, for it to go through mountains, and it's very not natural.
Right.
But unfortunately, the devastation, and it's going to take probably years to rebuild. But it is, you kind of go through a dark night of the soul.
Yeah. Talk about shaking faith. Yeah.
Right. Yes,
absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Is there a light at the end of the tunnel? I mean, I don't know, but but Bach Flower Essences definitely help with that, because it's amazing the difference.
Yeah. So you picked, I think, 3 to share with all of us. Okay. And you can talk about them and what they may do.
Okay. So I'm just going to show the different ones. So this is Cerato, let's see, can you see that?
Yep. Oh, yeah. Mhm.
So this one is basically it's kind of like someone that is always seeking approval. So it's basically because you're not really connected to your inner self and your soul. So you're constantly like, you're asking for approval. Like, would you do this? Would you do that? Because you're really not listening to your inner divine self. And so that can be for humans or animals because you don't have the confidence in your decision to move forward with however that looks. So, maybe the human may be asking the vet, well, what do I need to do? Or the animal may be like looking for the guardian for guidance as to, well, can I do this? Or how do I do this? Or, so Serato, it basically, I mean, it brings you back so that you have the confidence in your decisions, and then that way you do have faith in what it is that you are hearing. Like if you just like listen to, and I go like this because it's your divine, right? It's I'm listening to my higher self or the divine,
Yeah.
and you're connected to source. So then all of a sudden this will bring you into balance so that you can hear your own inner voice. And then you have more confidence so that you are able to move forward knowing that, yeah, because you're the only one that really knows what is right for you.
Right.
Right. So that way you can move forward with the confidence and the faith that you are making the right decision because you're listening to your own intuition or your own self.
Yeah. And I love what you said about, like the animals showing you when you maybe are in that space where you're not having faith in your own decisions. They may push your buttons. They may constantly cross boundaries. They may get on the couch. You've decided they're not going to be on the couch, but you're like, oh, it's kind of cold outside. That type of thing. And those are just some real basic ones. But in a session, in an animal communication session, they'll outline all of it. But I'm glad that you brought up how the animal can show you that too. But so that's a good one.
Yeah. So then we have, let's see. Okay. So then we have Gentian. So this is another good one. And this is connected with, do we have faith in the higher meaning, the bigger meaning of life? And that's not like in a religious aspect. It's just for our soul. Like, do we believe in how things happen? Like it's for temporary setbacks, like for you losing your father, me going through the hurricane, maybe someone getting divorced or whatever. You are so discouraged or, you're disappointed because you're like, how do I move forward? You can't really see through that because is there light at the end of the tunnel? And so basically it's someone that is like kind of really pessimistic all the time, or they're doubting it because they want to believe that, yes, there is a larger plan or a bigger plan and that we're connected, but they're unable to do that. So basically, like Gentian, it will help you rebuild your faith. It will help you kind of believe in perseverance and endurance of what it is that you're doing or what it is you're going through, that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And to have faith, like basically to kind of like to surrender as to what is going on. And also, in all of these is that, as you and I, Julie, talked, is that you have to give yourself some grace, and just allow you to go through it and to sit in it for the moment.
Yeah.
But you take one or two drops and all of a sudden you will be able to see, that there is something at the end of the tunnel. There is like a bigger picture. There is confidence in what it is, and it's only temporary, and that you will be moving forward.
Yeah. And it sounds too like that one also has a bit of a grounding quality in it too, because I know like from a grief perspective, that not having light at the end of the tunnel, it's just like there's not an ability to focus. Like this is my experience, not ability to focus, feeling unmoored. Right. So it sounds like that one has a little bit of a grounding aspect to it.
Yes. Yeah. And this one is a little bit more, because I'm going to share with another one, but this one's a little bit, I want to say softer, like when you are not as, another one that I'm going to share with is like Sweet Chestnut. So this one is really like going through the dark night of the soul. I don't know. Can you see that?
Go that way. Yep. There you go. Yep.
Sweet Chestnut. So this is really when you're at your wit's end and you're basically like you've hit rock bottom and you're just like, I don't know what to do, And so Gentian is a little bit that you're disappointed, you're discouraged of what's going on. How do I move forward? So it is a little like when I say softer, because you're kind of you're not at your wit's end yet. You're not going through a dark night of the soul. You're like, oh my goodness gracious, how do I move forward? Do I see the light at the end of the tunnel? But in everything, as we know, you kind of have to go through the darkness to make space for the new consciousness and light to come in.
Mm-hmm.
So at times, like I know for me going through the hurricane, and we're like, okay, we kind of had to go through that. Didn't realize it would need to be catastrophic, but sometimes you have to clear energy so that you're able to allow newer, higher vibrational energy to come through.
Yeah.
And we just have to trust that and to have faith in that, whatever it is that we choose and we decide that is our own inner guidance. And we're the only one that can do that for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. I like that one.
But yeah, so so that was Gentian, and then the Sweet Chestnut, which I was saying, yeah. So all three of them are basically to help with faith and to allow you to trust in your own self.
Mm-hmm.
Because like Edward Bach, his whole philosophy was heal thyself. And, we are really the only ones that can heal ourselves.
Yeah.
Because when we are like in alignment with our emotions and our soul, and we're truly connected, we are in alignment with our path as to what it is we're supposed to do, because basically there's no inner conflict as to what society's telling you or what this is, or even like you may have an inner battle between, well, I'm supposed to do this, but my emotions are not telling me that. My soul is not telling me that, and so we need to get on the same page and in alignment. And then when you are in alignment, you are able to move forward as a whole, like, right? You're whole.
Yeah.
So you're able to move forward and to trust it, right? To have faith in your decisions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so a lot of things that animals will do is they will mirror they'll mirror our behavior. We may not be aware of it, but they'll do stuff that's actually just like holding up a mirror and going, oh, I didn't realize that was the thing. Or they will model what they're hoping our behavior could evolve into, that type of thing. So they can do both of those types of things. So like for the Gentian, did I say it right? Okay. They, I feel like that's a little bit more like if they're showing you some anxiety, they're showing you some maybe some sadness, they're showing some unsureness about wanting to do something that maybe they always did before. Like for Lucas, like not trusting firework, not that that wasn't one that we used for him, but I could see like going to a place where he may have loved and then something happened that now it's shaken his faith in that place, safe space. I could see that type of a thing. And the Sweet Chestnut, I could see, I'll ask you this, Nina. So like if an animal, like the animals can go through dark nights of the soul as well. Again, also to some degree, also mirroring your own or, modeling that maybe it's time for you to do some deep reflection too. But if they lose their friend, if they lose their human, if they, things like that can kind of put them into, I'll call it into like sadness, into a funk, into that type of thing. Does that make sense as far as?
Yeah. Okay. I mean, it's kind of like the Sweet Chestnut is more like if they have chronic illness or if they're put into a shelter or if they've been, really suffering like some, cruelty or just mental anguish, and that they're at their wit's end. It could be, issues giving birth to their puppies or whatever it is. It is just a deeper, or it's an anguish, a more mental anguish that they are going through, which is similar to us humans, right? It's the same thing. And they do it the same, but it's, we look at it on a different level.
Yeah. Yeah. These are all, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. Well, I was going to say that they all the Bach Flower Essences kind of intertwine with each other. So, and you do take them with combination of a few others. So like, with Lucas, I know that we had done like aspen and mimulus or for fear, but you could also do this one. So it kind of like, it just really depends as to how it really affects at the time, because then it could be, you could be taking a few for this, and then all of a sudden your perspective changes and you shift, and then you've kind of released all of that, and then there's some other ones that like, oh yeah, we've like gotten out of that layer, and then we're peeling the onion back, and then we've gotten to something that's a little deeper, and these would work. So they're kind of taken all in combination, but there's so many of them that will do, because like For faith, you could also, there's a few others you could do. Like you could do elm, or, because you're overwhelmed, you're not sure if you see the light, right? Or there's large for saying confidence. Or, I mean, there's so many of them, but there's not, with Bach Flower Essence, there's only 36 of them. So it's a lot less. Like there's a lot of other lines like that may have 115. So it's a lot. This is all, comprehensive and inclusive of those few that, yeah. So yes, you could
Yeah.
take them how many you'd like.
Yeah. And I would just suggest that, like, for me, I feel more confident. Well, I'll do things. I have animals in animal communication sessions who, when something's going on, whatever it may be, and then we ask, what can we do to best support you? They will ask for different modalities, whether it's Bach flower essences or acupuncture, or it's really fascinating what they'll ask for. And when, I just had a client not too long ago that the dog actually asked for these, and I'm like, you need to talk to Nina, because I find like when that happens in a session, and this is what I love about like our bigger community, is that all of us have I call it pieces of the pie, right? We all have slices we can do. So I know that like if an animal asks for Bach flower essences or asks for some type of energy clearing, Nina is absolutely my go-to person for Bach flower essences. She's also just for a couple other things too, that I don't want to get us onto a tangent because I could talk to you all day long. Anyway, what's interesting is, if this is of interest to you watching, and you think that this modality could help based on whatever's going on with you and or your animal, or just your animal, which, there's also probably something there for you. I highly recommend just reaching out to Nina, because for her to be able to then connect with you and the animal and then see what actually what is the best one, that gives you the guidance. It also gives you the faith in the modality, I will say. And it also just will help the animal. It also helps create a bond, because the fact that for me and Lucas, he's helping me with grief. He's taking on some of the grief. He's like to show me where to work, and to be able to have that additional support in addition to everything else, Bach flower essences and someone like Nina who can help you determine what's the best one to do and how to do it, then you can actually move forward with it. So any last thoughts, Nina, about any of that?
I mean, I appreciate that very much. So can I just say how they can get a hold of me, if that's the case?
Yeah, and I'll put it down below, but yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so I'm Nina Roberti, which is NINARUBERTI at .com. And and I do have a YouTube channel, which is Nina Roberti. But I would love to tune in. I mean, the Bach flower essences are amazing. It basically just shifts and just changes the whole nature of a soul, whether that's you as a human or your animal. It just gives them and restores that harmony and peace that they so want. Because when an animal is, at their wit's end, or they're not eating, or whatever it is, or they're scared of the fireworks, when you can see the shift and you're bringing some peace and you're minimizing their anxiety, it's amazing, because you just assisted your animal in kind of finding that peace and harmony with them, as with you as well.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful that you had me on here today.
Oh, yeah, it's fun. So, and as always, when you do this and then watch how the animal again continues to show you how to evolve. So trust the animals is what, I always like to say. So if I would love it if people, when you have a chance to watch this or read some of the comments, if you wouldn't mind commenting down below and letting me know if you feel like this was helpful and you'd like to see more, because like she said, there's more of them. And every month we have a new message. So I'd love to have Nina come back and do some flower essences to help with the next animal messages. So anyway, but yeah, let us know what y'all think. So thanks, Nina, for being with us today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate it too.